Now, I know we drew this all together the other day, but just in case you missed it, or you just want to see it again, I want to draw for you a seed. Seeds come in all different shapes and sizes, colors and forms, but they have some things in common. A seed, as we teach at Auburn, is a baby in a lunchbox. Which sounds horrifying. Till we realize that the baby is not there to be the lunch. The lunch is there to nourish the baby, and the box is there to protect the baby. So the baby is the embryonic sporophyte, the next generation. The lunch is the endosperm, which is nutrition for developing embryo. And the box is the seed coat, which is protection for the embryo. Well, when you put it that way, being a baby in a lunchbox doesn't sound quite so bad because, hey, you're safe and you've got a nice something to nibble on while you're in there, which is great before you can be fully photosynthetic and able to function on your own. All right, so often, the most familiar type of seed we might see is kind of a bean shape. And now we're going to very carefully draw a second, slightly larger bean shape around our first bean shape. Being very careful not to cross the lines, because this is going to be our seed coat. And in all seeds, whether be they angiosperm or gymnosperm seeds, the seed coat is derived from the mother sporophyte. She may have one or two integuments, they are called, before they develop into the seed coat. But that is a little gift from Mummy. Mummy sporophyte is the seed coat. Okay, so inside the seed, let's talk about the lunch for a moment. All seeds have that endosperm. We're going to make a note about that endosperm in a moment here. But for now, we should just know that that endosperm serves as a source of nutrition for the embryo as it develops. Okay, so now we're going to draw our embryo. We can start with our root, or we can start with our stem, but I'm going to draw it kind of this one now. It kind of looks a little bit like one of those dancing sock people outside the used car dealership, the Bloodmobile. But it looks like it's got two arms in the air and a head there and a body. And that's basically all we need to kind of get the point across that we have here. That's called the epicotyle. And that's the embryonic shoot. It's going to grow up big and tall, grow up into the air. Oops, okay. These things there are the cotyledons. Cotyledons, which are the, also known as the seed leaves. They will grow and expand, and they will do some photosynthesis, but the cotyledons often don't look like mature leaves. They're just kind of starter leaves. They're the starter pack of leaves. Underneath the cotyledons, we have a structure that means under the cotyledons, the hypocotyl, which is the embryonic stem. And down here at the bottom end, we have an embryonic root, which is called the radicle. And you may know that if you're taking math, that the little box thing that they put square roots in, that's also called the radicle, and the name means little root. Radicle. Spelled differently from, like, you know, a new flavor of Mountain Dew, that would be C-A-L instead of C-L-E. So all of these things here are the embryo, the embryonic plant. So it's grown by mitosis into an entire baby plant. So all of the parts of the plant that there will be in as it grows into a new sporophyte, they're all present there in embryonic form inside the seed, which is different from a spore. A spore has embryonic nothing. That has no parts that are formed at all. It's just one cell that's going to grow and kind of become a little bit of everything as it grows by mitosis. Okay, so a note about the endosperm. In gymnosperms, the endosperm is made up of what is left of the megagametophyte plus the sporangium. So that megagametophyte is haploid. So the endosperm is haploid, plus a little bit of diploid tissue in there as well. But in angiosperms, flowering plants, for reasons that I will draw for you, when I draw the life cycle of angiosperms, not one, not two, but 3N. It's triploid. And just to kind of spoil what I'll draw for you in the future, the endosperm in angiosperms is derived from one of the sperm cells from the pollen grain fusing with two polar nuclei inside the megagametophyte. And those three cells fuse together, and that's how you get a triploid tissue. But triploid tissue is more robust, better nutrition source than just having haploid tissue. We typically see that with changes in ploidy. It kind of hulks things out. But that is your basic baby in a lunchbox, also known as a seed.